she'd gotten to the point, I think, where things just weren't great. So everything was annoying her.
Which happens in relationships.
Yeah, I think she forced me to have fun. She forced me to laugh. No friction and issue with anything, with the kids, with just being together, and her, the co-parenting has been.
What if the clean-cut boy-next-door image of one of television's most iconic teen idols was nothing more than a carefully constructed Hollywood facade? What if, behind the sun-drenched facade of West Beverly High, a life of silent turmoil, explosive heartbreak, and shocking scandal was unfolding, far more dramatic than any storyline ever written for the screen? For Brian Austin Green, the actor who brought the aspirational David Silver to life on Beverly Hills 90210, this wasn't a hypothetical. It was his brutal reality. His journey from a fresh-faced child actor to a man weathered by vicious public feuds, a devastating secret health crisis, and a series of tumultuous, headline-grabbing relationships is a chilling story of survival in the unforgiving jungle of Hollywood. This is the untold, unfiltered story of Brian Austin Green, a man who has been forced to live 100 different lives, all while trapped under the relentless glare of the public eye. Long before the bright lights and zip code envy of Beverly Hills beckoned, a young Brian Austin Green was already a seasoned professional, navigating the treacherous waters of the entertainment industry. His journey didn't begin with a locker at West Beverly High, but on the deceptively quiet cul-de-sac of the primetime soap opera Knots Landing. For 3 long seasons from 1986 to 1989, he played the role of Brian Cunningham, the impressionable young son of the manipulative and often villainous Abby Cunningham Ewing. This wasn't a lighthearted sitcom, it was a world of corporate espionage, backstabbing, and complex adult drama. Being immersed in that environment plunged him headfirst into the high-stakes world of network television. It was a true baptism by fire, forcing him to learn the ropes of a demanding, adult-centric industry at an age when most kids are worried about homework and school dances. The psychological pressures of being a child actor are immense, a constant dizzying tightrope walk between the fading innocence of youth and the crushing responsibilities of a professional career. This formative, high-pressure period undoubtedly forged the man he would become, instilling in him a deep-seated resilience that would be tested time and time again in the brutal years to come. He had no way of knowing it then, but this was merely the prelude to a level of global fame that would completely redefine his life, his identity, and his future forever. In the fall of 1990, the world was introduced to a group of impossibly good-looking friends from the affluent suburbs of Los Angeles, and television was never the same again. Beverly Hills 90210 wasn't just a television show. It was a cultural atom bomb, and Brian Austin Green was standing at its epicenter. As David Silver, he initially portrayed the slightly nerdy, ambitious freshman who desperately wanted to fit in with the effortlessly cool crowd. But what millions of fans never knew was that the character's evolution from wannabe to a core member of the group was a direct reflection of Brian's own off-screen interests. The show's legendary creator, Aaron Spelling, saw the raw talent and unique passions within Brian and made a crucial decision to script David's aspirations to mirror Brian's own. As David Silver began obsessing over hip-hop music and DJing, so did Brian Austin Green in his real life. This deliberate blurring of the lines between actor and character created a powerful sense of authenticity that resonated deeply with a generation of viewers. But behind the glitz, glamour, and record-breaking ratings, a darker side of fame was beginning to fester. The intense, suffocating scrutiny and the complete loss of personal anonymity took a heavy toll on the young, unprepared cast. The seemingly perfect, sun-kissed world of West Beverly High was a carefully crafted illusion, a far cry from the real-life pressures and temptations they faced every single day. The seeds of future struggles were being sown, hidden in the long, dark shadow of a television empire. While his on-screen love life with Tori Spelling's Donna Martin captivated millions of viewers each week, Brian's real-life romances were proving to be just as dramatic, if not significantly more toxic. His relationship with actress Vanessa Marcil, who joined the cast of 90210 as the fiery Gina Kincaid, was a tempestuous, all-consuming affair that would leave a permanent scar on both of their lives. Years after their split, their romance would be described by those close to them as dangerously toxic, a word that only hinted at the deep-seated dysfunction and emotional turmoil that plagued their time together. Their love story, however intense, was not the final chapter of their shared, chaotic narrative. The birth of their son, Cassius, in 2002 brought a new, profound level of complexity to their already volatile relationship. When the romance finally and inevitably crumbled, it didn't just end. It devolved into one of Hollywood's most bitter and highly public custody battles. Vicious accusations flew from both sides like shrapnel. Vanessa publicly claimed she endured a long and arduous fight for custody, painting a picture of a negligent father. It was a claim that Brian would later ferociously dispute, even releasing personal documents and emails to counter her narrative. This brutal public war of words offered a horrifying glimpse into the acrimonious nature of their split, a battle fought viciously in the court of public opinion as much as in any courtroom. The deep scars from this relationship would prove to be lasting, a painful and constant reminder of a love that had soured into a protracted, ugly, and seemingly endless conflict. In the chaotic midst of his personal turmoil, a new, transformative love entered Brian's life, one that would redefine his public persona for over a decade. He met a young, breathtakingly beautiful, and relatively unknown actress named Megan Fox on the set of the sitcom Hope and Faith. Their connection was reportedly instantaneous, electric, and all-consuming. Their relationship, however, was not without its own immediate set of controversies. The significant age gap between them, he was 30, she was just 18, raised more than a few eyebrows and became instant fodder for the tabloids. Their on-again, off-again dynamic quickly became a recurring, predictable theme. Before they even made it to the altar, they had already experienced a significant, dramatic breakup, a clear sign of the inherent volatility that would come to characterize their union for years to come. Despite these early, glaring warning signs, their love story was a powerful one, and they seemed destined, for better or worse, to be together. They became a Hollywood power couple overnight, their every move documented, analyzed, and dissected by a voracious public. Little did either of them know that this was just the beginning of a long, winding, and treacherous road, one filled with both incredible cinematic joy and the most profound, soul-crushing heartbreak imaginable. The Megan Fox era had officially begun, and it would be a roller coaster ride of epic, tragic proportions. In the summer of 2010, against the picturesque backdrop of a Hawaiian sunset, Brian and Megan finally tied the knot, solidifying their status as one of Hollywood's most captivating and enigmatic couples. Their family soon expanded with the arrival of 3 sons, Noah, Bodhi, and Journey. On the surface, they appeared to have it all. A beautiful, growing family, thriving careers, and a seemingly idyllic, sun-drenched life. But beneath the carefully curated image of domestic bliss, deep, significant cracks were beginning to form in the foundation of their marriage. The relentless pressures of fame, the constant demands of 2 high-profile careers, and the inherent everyday challenges of marriage began to take a serious toll. Whispers of trouble in paradise grew into loud, persistent rumors. The once unbreakable, almost mystical bond between them started to show visible signs of strain. The public was only seeing a carefully edited snapshot of their lives, a highlight reel of glamorous red carpet appearances and happy, staged family photos. The reality, as is so often the case in the gilded cage of Hollywood, was far more complicated and far more painful. The insidious seeds of discontent had been planted years earlier, and it was only a matter of time before they would bear their bitter, unavoidable fruit. The persistent whispers of marital strife finally culminated in a shocking, public move that sent seismic ripples through Hollywood and beyond. In 2015, after 5 years of marriage, Megan Fox officially filed for divorce, a stark legal declaration that their fairy tale romance was on the brink of complete and utter collapse. The news stunned their legions of fans, who had followed their epic love story for the better part of a decade. But just when it seemed that their chapter together was officially and tragically closed, a surprising, almost unbelievable twist emerged from the wreckage. The divorce proceedings were abruptly put on hold, and the couple made a shocking announcement. They were expecting their 3rd child. The impending arrival of their son, Journey, seemed to be the unexpected catalyst for a dramatic reconciliation, a tiny beacon of hope in the midst of a devastating personal storm. For a time, it appeared that they had miraculously weathered the tempest, their shared love for their growing family pulling them back from the brink of finality. This period of reconciliation, however, would cruelly prove to be nothing more than a temporary reprieve, a fleeting, deceptive calm before the final, devastating hurricane that would ultimately and permanently tear their family apart. The fragile reconciliation that had once seemed so promising eventually, and perhaps inevitably, unraveled, leading to their final, definitive separation in 2020. This time, the split was not a quiet, respectful parting of ways. It was a public spectacle of the highest order, fueled by incendiary social media posts and a ravenous, bloodthirsty tabloid culture. The drama reached a fever pitch on Halloween of that year when Brian posted a seemingly innocent photo of himself and their youngest son, Journey, in their costumes. Meghan's response was swift, surgical, and utterly brutal. She commented directly on his post for the entire world to see, writing, "Why does Journey have to be in this picture? You're so intoxicated with feeding the pervasive narrative that I'm an absent mother, and you are the perennial, eternally dedicated dad of the year. I had a great Halloween with them yesterday, and yet notice how absent they are from my social media. I know you love your kids, but I don't know why you can't stop using them to posture via Instagram." This public comment was a raw, unfiltered, and devastating look into the deep-seated bitterness that now defined their relationship. The gloves were officially off, and the once private pain of their separation was now a gruesome public execution. It was a messy, shocking, and deeply personal meltdown, a sad and tragic final chapter to a love story that had once captivated the entire world. As the radioactive dust was still settling from his very public implosion with Meghan, a new, electrifying figure entered the narrative, one who would become inextricably and permanently linked to the drama. The rapper and actor Machine Gun Kelly, whose real name is Colson Baker, came into Meghan's life, and their connection was, by all accounts, immediate, cosmic, and dangerously intense. Meghan famously and repeatedly described him as her twin flame, a term that hinted at the almost spiritual, soul-level intensity of their bond. The emergence of this new, highly public relationship added yet another explosive layer of complexity to the ongoing, bitter saga of Brian and Meghan's divorce. It didn't take long for a very public, and very petty, feud to erupt between Brian and MGK. Leaked DMs and shady, passive-aggressive social media posts became the weapons of choice in a war of words fought in the digital arena. In one infamous instance, Brian copied a caption Meghan had used for a photo of MGK, "achingly beautiful boy," and used it on a post featuring pictures of his own sons. The beef between Meghan's past and present loves was a tabloid dream, a juicy, irresistible subplot in an already compelling drama. The once private world of Brian Austin Green was now a public spectacle, his personal life a source of endless, sordid entertainment for a global audience. While Brian was forced to grapple with the very public, humiliating implosion of his decade-long marriage, he was simultaneously fighting a desperate, private battle for his life, one that was taking a catastrophic toll on his physical and emotional well-being. For years, he had been secretly suffering from ulcerative colitis, a chronic, painful, and often debilitating inflammatory bowel disease. He kept his terrifying health struggles a closely guarded secret, enduring the agonizing pain, extreme weight loss, and constant discomfort in complete silence. This secret health crisis added another layer of unimaginable difficulty to an already tumultuous period in his life. The sheer physical toll of the disease, which at one point left him bedridden and unable to even walk, combined with the immense emotional stress of his divorce and the constant, punishing public scrutiny, was a burden almost too heavy to bear. His eventual decision to speak publicly about his condition was an act of profound bravery, a moment of raw vulnerability that offered a shocking glimpse into the real man behind the tabloid headlines. It was a stark reminder that even those who live their lives in the spotlight are not immune to the silent, invisible struggles that affect so many. In the chaotic aftermath of his public heartbreak and private health scare, a new and entirely unexpected love story began to quietly unfold for Brian. He was cast on season 30 of the reality competition show Dancing with the Stars, and his professional partner was the fiery, talented, and empathetic Sharna Burgess. Their chemistry on the dance floor was immediate and palpable, and it soon became undeniably clear that their powerful connection extended far beyond the realm of choreography and competition. Their blossoming relationship was a stark, refreshing contrast to the drama, chaos, and volatility that had defined his previous romances. With Sharna, Brian seemed to find a genuine sense of peace, acceptance, and stability that had long eluded him. Their love story blossomed in the full glare of the public eye, but it was refreshingly devoid of the scandal, toxicity, and acrimony that had plagued his past. It was a true second chance at love, a brand new chapter that promised a brighter, calmer, and more peaceful future. As Brian and Sharna's relationship deepened, they began to share more of their personal, often painful stories with the world, revealing a level of vulnerability that was both surprising and deeply endearing. In a particularly candid and courageous moment, Sharna made a shocking admission about her own dark past, revealing a terrifying struggle with meth addiction during her turbulent teenage years. This jaw-dropping revelation offered a glimpse into the dark, difficult, and dangerous path she had been forced to walk long before she became a celebrated household name. This shared, unspoken experience of overcoming profound personal demons may have been a key, foundational factor in the incredible strength of their bond. Both Brian and Sharna had been forced to face their own private battles, their own personal hells, and this mutual, unspoken understanding likely created a powerful foundation of empathy, compassion, and unwavering support in their relationship. They were two souls who had been through the fire and had somehow emerged stronger. Their shared history of resilience, a powerful testament to their individual and collective strength. The beautiful and healing love story of Brian and Sharna continued to blossom, culminating in a series of joyful, life-affirming milestones that marked a new and hopeful chapter in their lives. The couple welcomed their son, Zane, a beautiful and happy addition to their growing, blended family. And in 2023, they joyfully announced their engagement, a public declaration of their unwavering commitment to a shared future together. With the birth of Zane, Brian became a father of 5, a complex role that he has embraced with a renewed sense of purpose and dedication. The immense complexities of co-parenting with his 2 high-profile exes, Megan Fox and Vanessa Marcil, remain a constant, challenging reality in his life, a delicate, high-wire balancing act that he is forced to navigate in the full glare of the public spotlight. His long, complicated journey as a father has been a central, defining theme in his public narrative, a source of both immeasurable joy and, at times, significant, painful controversy. Despite his clear, demonstrable devotion to his children, Brian has not been immune to harsh and relentless criticism. Over the years, he has been forced to face repeated, painful accusations of being a bad father, a cruel and damaging label that has been thrown at him by both anonymous online trolls and, at times, his former partners. These hurtful accusations have often played out in the brutal public sphere, forcing Brian to defend his personal parenting choices in a form where judgment is swift, merciless, and often completely devoid of context. The complexities of co-parenting are challenging for any family, but when you're a celebrity, those challenges are magnified 1,000 times over. Every single decision is scrutinized, every photo is analyzed, and every perceived misstep is a potential career-damaging headline. The bad father narrative is a deeply painful one for any parent to endure. And for Brian, it has been a recurring, unwelcome, and profoundly unfair theme in his public life. In the midst of the ongoing, often vicious public discourse about his parenting, a single, heartfelt act of fatherly devotion became a viral sensation, sparking a fresh, intense wave of debate. For Halloween, Brian's son Journey wanted to dress up as Springtrap, a character from the popular horror video game Five Nights at Freddy's. Instead of simply buying a pre-made, store-bought costume, Brian took it upon himself to construct a detailed, screen-accurate, and incredibly elaborate costume entirely from scratch, using foam, fabric, and his own 2 hands. He proudly documented the painstaking process on social media, showcasing his impressive craftsmanship and his unwavering dedication to making his son's Halloween wish come true. The public reaction was predictably swift and deeply divided. Many praised him for his heartfelt, creative, and time-consuming effort, seeing it as a beautiful, undeniable example of a father's deep love. Others, however, were far more cynical, immediately viewing it as yet another calculated attempt to use his children for social media clout, a strategic move to bolster his public image in the face of ongoing criticism. This Halloween costume controversy was a perfect microcosm of the larger, complicated narrative that has surrounded Brian for years. A story of a devoted father simply trying to do his best under the watchful and often deeply critical eye of the public, in a clear and determined effort to finally reclaim his own narrative and move beyond the sensationalized headlines that have so often defined him. Brian has embarked on a new, deeply personal venture. He has launched a successful podcast called Oldish, a platform where he can speak his mind freely, share his experiences unfiltered, and offer his own unvarnished perspective on the often distorted events of his life. This move is a transparent attempt to take back control of his own story, to move beyond the one-dimensional, cartoonish character that has been created for him by the tabloids over the past 3 decades. His long, arduous journey from a fresh-faced teen idol to a complex, flawed, and multifaceted man has been a long and often incredibly difficult one. He has been a TV star, a husband, a father, and a public punching bag, and he has weathered personal and professional storms that would have completely broken a lesser man. The real Brian Austin Green is not just David Silver, nor is he simply the sum of his public relationships and bitter feuds. He is, at his core, a survivor, a man who has learned to navigate the treacherous, shark-infested waters of fame with a quiet resilience that is both deeply admirable and, at times, truly astonishing. From the dizzying, stratospheric heights of teen stardom to the crushing, humiliating lows of public heartbreak and silent private battles, Brian Austin Green's life has been a relentless, unpredictable roller coaster. He has been defined by his iconic role on 90210, by his tumultuous, high-profile relationships with famous women, and by the endless, inescapable drama that has followed him for decades. But to see him only through the distorted, simplistic lens of the headlines is to miss the true, complicated story. A story of a man who has fought ferociously for his family, battled his own personal demons in silence, and steadfastly refused to be broken by the immense, soul-crushing pressures of a life lived entirely in the spotlight. His incredible journey is a powerful, poignant testament to the resilience of the human spirit. A stark and necessary reminder that behind every celebrity facade, there is a real, vulnerable person, with real struggles, real heartbreaks, and a real, desperate desire to simply find peace and happiness. The incredible, dramatic story of Brian Austin Green is far from over, and one can only wonder what the next chapter will hold for this ultimate Hollywood survivor.